Welcome to Out and Down, or as some people may think of it, Down and Out. I'm your host Sarah, joined today with my friend
Chrissy Ungrew.
Welcome to the podcast. We're now on double digits. We're on episode 10. So Chrissy, you want to share a little bit about yourself, like some of the stuff you do for work?
I'm a simple gal. I like to tattoo. I like the band Kiss, and I like my cats. All right. Much else to me.
There's more, but it's fine.
But
So,
yeah.
How long have you been tattooing?
I'm a baby tattooer. I hit 3 years on January 1st. So it's been 3 years, 1 month, 8 days.
Nice.
Yeah.
Down to the day.
Yeah. I could get down to the hour, but I don't feel like doing the math. So.
Fair enough. So what's your favorite tattoo you've done? It can be just recent to make it easy.
Yeah, because I've done a lot of tattoos I really fucking like. If I've posted it, I really fucking like that tattoo. But the other day, I did Skid Row's logo, and that was pretty sick.
Nice.
I'm working on a lot of, like, bigger pieces right now. I have a lot of in-progress ones. Like, I got a Kiss sleeve that I'm working on, and obviously I'm stoked about that. And I'm working on a back piece on my biological dad. I'm stoked about that.
Nice.
And I've been drawing a lot more Flash lately. I needed to. So I'm drawing more Flash, and people are claiming that Flash, and I get excited anytime someone wants one of my Flash tattoos.
Hell yeah, dude.
Hell yeah.
What's the weirdest thing you've tattooed?
Probably that tattoo on your leg, dog.
It's not that weird.
It's pretty weird.
Not that weird.
It's the weirdest one I've done, and I tell people that, and I actively tell the story of your tattoo. You want to explain what it is?
Yeah, so my tattoo is from the pilot of Regular Show. It's a car putting gasoline into a man's butt, for a lack of a better way to explain it. That's what it is.
Hell yeah.
It is what it is, my dude. And it's sick.
He's pumping it in.
He's pumping it in.
It's sick. I love that tattoo. I think it's great. I'm sad for the day when you'll eventually cover it up.
Yeah, it's coming up, isn't it? About to be 30.
It's just like, it is genuinely the weirdest tattoo I've done, because if you aren't like a fan of Regular Show or have seen the pilot, you have no idea. And it's just, you just see a guy getting fucked in the ass by a car.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
Fair enough.
I don't think I've done much weirder than that, man.
Really? What's the second weirdest? Like, have you...
Oh, man. So, when I was an apprentice, I was doing free tattoos, and I drew, like, a bunch of bullshit, because I didn't know what I was doing, making tattoo designs. So, like, just bullshit line drawings, and one of them was the Oogie Boogie Man from Nightmare Before Christmas, because it's easy as shit to draw.
Mm-hmm.
And the Oogie Boogie Man is a potato sack filled with maggots and worms, right?
For sure.
So this chick comes in, and she wants to get the Oogie Boogie Man tattooed on her from my, like, Flash. And I was like, hell yeah. Where do you want it? She says, I want it right here above my cooter. And I was like, yeah, are you sure? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, all right. So I'm tattooing her, and, like, she said something that gave me the inclination she hadn't seen Nightmare Before Christmas. And I was like, yo, like, have you seen Nightmare Before Christmas? And she was like, no, I just really like this guy. And I was like, oh, fucking hell, man. And to this day, she still loves the tattoo.
That's good.
She loves it, but I'm kind of like, man, are you sure?
Do you think she's seen it yet?
I told her to watch it, and but I don't think she's the type of person that, like, takes in media for real.
Oh, okay.
Like, I think she just is in her own little world doing her... I think she's too much of a social person to sit down and watch anything.
That's fair.
Yeah. That's the vibe I get.
Tattooed anyone's, like, name on somebody yet?
Man, no. But there was this one time at the shop I used to work at, and it like started a big fight. This girl who was like freshly 18, it was like she hit up the shop or something. It was either she hit up this shop or her boyfriend hit up the shop, and she was like, I want to get my boyfriend's name tattooed on me. And the reason was something about like proving loyalty or some shit
Mm-hmm.
like that. And she's like freshly 18.
Yeah.
And she wants it like right here on her chest. And she was like, we've only been together for 3 months, but I know he's the one, like type shit.
That's horrible.
And my boss was like, you should do it. Get the money. You should do it. Come on. If she's stupid enough to want to do this, you should do it. And I was like, I'm not fucking doing this. And it turned into like a pretty big argument, like throughout everyone in the shop. Like we were
Mm-hmm.
all like debating our morality right there in that moment. And I was like, I'm not fucking doing it because it was going to be put on me because I
Mm-hmm.
was the one that got like the scraps, you know, from the Facebook messages and shit.
Right.
But I wound up not doing it, and my boss agreed that it wasn't a good idea to actually do.
That's good.
Yeah,
I
but
can't imagine being 18 and being like, this is the love of my life. I can't wait to have him on my chest forever. Like,
yeah, the only time I've ever tattooed a name on someone was actually my regulars. They wouldn't want me to say their names online or anything,
okay.
but I tattooed their names on each other, but I've never met a couple like them. Like they are
Mm-hmm.
so down for each other, and like they've been together for 10 years, I think, and
Damn.
married for they were together for 7 and then they got married after the 7. Is that 4 years?
3?
3 years. But they're so down for each other, like that they when you think of one, you think of both of them. You don't
Yeah.
just think of one of them individually.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, but that's the only time because I typically tell people it's super bad luck because
Mm-hmm.
it is. It's historically extremely bad luck. If you want to get an initial, that's cool. I did tattoo my signature on someone,
Mm-hmm.
which was silly. It was on the same regular. He wanted. I drew something that was Kiss related, but he's not a fan of Kiss. But he
Mm-hmm.
wanted it because he thought it looked cool,
Right.
and it's an original drawing by me. So he got it, but he was like, "I'll get it under one stipulation: you have to sign it." And what was so ironic is that I had made fun of a tattooer for tattooing their signature
Oh my
on a
gosh.
tattoo, and I was like, the universe
Immediately.
was trying to humble me right there. So I did. I tattooed my signature on him with like the year and everything.
Fair enough.
I was just stoked to do a Kiss tattoo. I was like, okay, if this is what it takes to do a Kiss tattoo, I'll gladly put my signature there.
Fair enough, man. What's your favorite type of tattoo? Like, what style is your favorite?
I don't have a favorite style because there's so much cool shit that you're able to do within every style of tattooing. I think cyber sigilism is fucking ass. Like, if you were to ask me my least favorite type of style, it would be cyber sigilism.
Mm-hmm.
Because cyber sigilism now has broken off into almost like this cyber sigilism esque fine line Renaissance art type shit. I don't know how else to describe it, man, but it's BS art. It's
Mm-hmm.
all completely traced, and it's like, don't get me wrong, I use references for my art, like anatomical references.
Mm-hmm.
Even for flowers, sometimes like I need a reference, but it's still my art because I stylize it. I just use it for anatomy purposes. But these people are like completely copy and pasting like paintings from art museums and then putting like complete copies of, like, it's not stylized, it's just like complete copies of other people's art, and just put it onto you in a style that will not last, will fade completely.
Mm-hmm.
And but I mean, I also do like small tattoos that won't necessarily last all too well, and I'll be the first to admit that. It's the tattoos I do that won't last as well, quote unquote, will heal in a way that looks different from the original product, but
Mm-hmm.
still looks good.
Yeah.
Like the pointillism shit I do, if you want to call it that, it's more peppering shading, where it looks like a bunch of little dots. What's cool about that style is if it's done properly, over the course of the years, it'll turn into normal looking shading.
Right.
So it has like a double life
Well, that's
almost.
good.
And I
Yeah.
think that's cool.
It is dope. I think it is the Real Friends one you did on me, the peppering.
Mm-hmm. And that will heal over the course of the years. What will happen is the smaller dots, the ones that are faded out, those will turn into a gray tone and it'll be a gradient from gray to black with the
Mm-hmm.
harsher black dots, and, in the more black areas. It'll look really fucking cool over time, at least in my opinion. I've seen it healed and aged and it looks cool.
Mm-hmm.
People are just too, like, about that kind of stuff.
Fair enough. How do you feel about blackout tattoos?
I think it should be a last resort. Like, I think people who immediately go in wanting blackout, it all boils down to bodily autonomy at the end of the day. If you want this shit on your body, fucking get this shit on your body, and I'm not gonna judge you for it.
Mm-hmm.
I will talk and dissect and critique the art and the artist, but I will never look at someone and be like, you're fucking stupid for getting that on your body.
Right.
So, with blackout, a lot of motherfuckers talk shit about blackout. And it's a valid art form, just like you can argue the cyber sigilism and that kind of shit is a valid art form.
Mm-hmm.
It's all valid, it's all a way of self-expression and bodily autonomy and blah, 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 blah. But for me personally, when people come in and they say, I want this tattoo covered up, can you do a blackout? I will look at them and be like, are you sure you want a blackout? Because we can do something else to cover this up. People put too many limitations on cover-ups.
Mm-hmm.
If you're willing to compromise and have maybe 1 or 2 lines showing through, you can get a badass fucking cover-up going on that's full color or black and gray. Like, people limit themselves too much because they don't know any better and they think blackout sleeves are the only fucking way to go.
Right.
If you want to do an artistic rendering and get, like, a blackout sleeve in a specific way because you think it's cool or whatever, hell yeah, do your thing. But I think when you do blackout too, there's no going back.
Right.
No going back. And you cannot, I've done it myself to see how it heals. Other tattooers have too. Putting white ink over black does not last. Stop trying to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't last. I did it one time, and I will never do it again. It doesn't work.
Good on you for setting limitations like that.
I mean, you have to, because, when you're, at least for me, when I was first starting out, I didn't put limitations on shit, and you learn the hard way.
Mm-hmm.
And then you gotta, it's like reparations. Like, you gotta, make up for that.
For sure.
And there's a lot of making up I've had to do because I didn't put limitations on myself and recognize the boundaries that needed to be put on what I was doing. So, but I fixed my mistakes. Like, all my apprentice tattoos, if you want that shit covered up, I do that for free. And I've done it. And if I've messed up on something, cover that shit up for free. Fix it up for free. Whatever you want, man. If it's a legit, issue, I will take care of it.
It's so sick, dude. It's so sick.
Thank you. Tattooing is cool, man.
It is cool.
It's the closest you can get to being a rock star without having to make any fucking music.
For sure.
It's the shit. I love tattooing.
Oh yeah. How do you feel about ignorant tattoos?
Oh, the style of ignorant tattoos?
Mm-hmm.
Again, it boils down to bodily autonomy.
I just wanted to know, your personal opinion.
Because
Because it's definitely been growing, especially, on TikTok. I see, ignorant tattoos are just, blowing up. That's, what a lot of people want to get.
okay, I think it's a trend. Trends come and go.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's kind of like when you're a collector and you look at prices of things and you gauge how much something is worth by looking at other people's prices. And people are willing to pay what someone, says it's worth.
Mm-hmm.
And all of these people doing ignorant tattoos and, making it more of a trend, they're giving it more worth. So more people are coming out doing ignorant tattoos. I don't think it's a valid style. I just don't. I think it's a valid illustration style, maybe, sometimes. More for, like, little comics, maybe.
Oh, yeah, I agree. I could see a lot of, like, ignorant tattoos come from, like, those more scratchy-looking comics.
Yeah, and I think those are cute. And, if you want to get that tattooed on you, absolutely. But I think as a tattoo style, I don't think much of it, to be honest. It doesn't show up in my feed. It doesn't show up in my everyday life. I don't see it. So if it is gaining popularity, I don't fucking see it. 'Cause it's not, it's not worth my viewing.
Fair enough, dude.
Sorry, when I try to explain myself, like, I talk faster than I think. So, like, I'm not very eloquent, but I try to get out what I'm saying, and it just goes on for too long.
No, I'm enjoying it.
Okay, cool.
Cool. And then my last tattoo-related question. If our listeners were going to get tattooed by you, do you want to share what your rate would be and what style you like doing the most?
Yeah, man. So rate-wise, it all depends on the tattoo. If you want a bigger piece, it's my hourly rate of $150 an hour, and there's tax. Sorry, the government got us in our grips. We got to put sales tax on that shit.
Fair.
And I'm shit about giving pricing, man. There'll be tattooers who'll say, like, hand size this much, palm size this much. I don't fucking know. Show me the thing you want, and I'll let you know what it will cost. I'll give you a range, but I'm not a very expensive tattooer because I don't want to be. So don't expect to come in and want something that's like a fucking traditional rose and expect me to say, oh, it'll cost $600. No. I'm reasonably priced.
That's good.
I still charge my worth, though.
As you should.
I'm reasonably priced. So yeah, that's the best I can do about pricing. But style-wise, I don't know. If you're excited about it, I'm going to be excited about it. So if it's cool, hell yeah. If you're excited, hell yeah, me too. I can't be more excited about something than you are that you're getting. So
fair.
Come in excited, I'll be excited.
I lied, I do have one more tattoo question.
Yeah.
Have you ever tattooed genitalia?
No, I'm actually a little bitter about this. I had someone come in and want to schedule, and we had multiple consultations about this. They were a F to M transgender non-binary person, and they had bottom surgery, and they were going to come in and get their genitalia tattooed to look more realistic to a dick. And we had multiple consultations because when you do something like that, I had to explain to them, like, listen, we're trying to make a flat surface look like a 3D surface with shading. From all angles, it's not going to look right. From doing this, trying to add veins and stuff, it's not going to look right at certain angles. I need you to understand this. This is why we're having multiple consultations, because there have been times in the past where tattooers have been sued because things didn't go exactly as the person had pictured in their brain. So you have to have multiple consultations to get the expectations down a little bit, because you can only do so much with tattooing.
For sure.
And then they stopped by, like, for their final consultation. They said, hey, dog, I'm moving to Arizona next week. And I was like, you know what? All right, man. Have fun. So...
And you're kind of bummed out about it?
I was, because, it would have been, one, selfishly, because it would have looked great for my portfolio, and it would have opened up me to a whole new realm of clientele coming my way. Selfish reasons. And then, other reasons being, like, it would have been fucking cool as shit to do. It would have been cool to provide that service. It would have been cool to see the outcome.
Yeah.
It just would have been cool in general. And this person, like, really fucking wanted it. And I was happy to do it. But then, yeah, they were like, peace.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, I hope they ended up getting it done.
I hope so, too. They were cool as fuck. They, one time, like, randomly, because they would deliver stuff to a barbershop on our street, like, lotions and hair products and all this kind of stuff that they homemade. I actually have it in my bathroom. They brought me, like, shea butter stuff and, like, lip balm and, like, this bracelet they made and, like, all this kind of shit. And the shea butter lotion, yo, it smells so fucking good.
Hell yeah.
It smells so good. I literally, like, that is my lotion I save for, like, special occasions. Because it smells like orange and cinnamon and vanilla. Like, and it's like a mousse type lotion.
Ooh, fancy.
Shit is so fucking nice. It's so nice.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
So, past tattooing, obviously your favorite band is Kiss. Where would you like to start talking about them? Like, what is something you are dying to tell the listeners about your favorite band, Kiss?
You know, so much. I could educate the world on Kiss. I know too much, and it's a problem. I know too much about classic, like, rock and metal in general. Because since I was in, like, 5th grade, it has just been my hyperfixation. I can't tell you how many hours I've spent watching interviews, watching documentaries, reading fucking books. You look at any of my books, there's so many. I mean, Steven Tyler, Alice Cooper. I'm reading Billy Idol's right now. Like, I spent so many years collecting vinyl, CDs, like, everything imaginable that has to do with classic rock. I'm into it. And Kiss, for some reason, like, has a chokehold on me. I can't, like, necessarily explain it. If I try to dig deep into it, I can't come up with a reason. It just is. I just fucking love Kiss. Kiss rules. And I don't know what it is lately, too. I've been really into Skid Row and, like, Sebastian Bach. And Sebastian Bach is just, like, this down-ass motherfucker who just, he's also a Kiss super fan. And, like, and the whole, there's, like, the rumor on why Skid Row broke up is, I mean, he debunked it not too long ago on a podcast that I watched. But the rumor for years, since the 90s, was that Skid Row broke up because the rest of the band said no to opening for Kiss. And Sebastian Bach ended the band because they said no to Kiss. Because he's such a huge fan. Which is, like, a half-truth. And so, yeah, but just Kiss rules. You talk to any motherfucker who is a well-known, you know, rock musician, they're gonna bring up Kiss. Like, Kiss fucking influenced so many people. I don't know. I could tell you, like, dumb fun facts about Kiss. I have lots of those stored in this brain. I mean, what would you like to know? Do you want to know raunchy shit?
Shoot me some facts.
You want to know raunchy shit, or you want to know just anything?
Let's do base level and then move to raunchy.
Okay.
You don't want to freak people out too fast.
Okay, so base level. Okay, let's start chronological order, base level. So Gene Simmons was born in Israel. His real name, I try to pronounce it, and just forgive me for pronouncing it incorrectly, but I try my hardest. His real name is Chaim Witz. His mother was a Holocaust survivor. She was in Nazi concentration camps when she was 14 years old, and she survived because she was a hairdresser to the Nazi wives.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, and she's originally from Hungary. So they're a Jewish family. She moved to Israel. She had Gene, and Gene's first language was Hungarian and then Hebrew. He moved to the U.S. when he was 8 years old. He didn't speak a lick of English, and he learned how to speak English from old movies. He loved like old horror movies.
Mm-hmm.
And he also read comic books. He collected comic books, and he actually became like a comic book dealer in New York when he was like a teenager.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and he has like some of the rarest like comic books. He also collects VHS tapes and Betamaxes, and he's been doing that since he was a kid as well.
Mm-hmm.
Or like teenager, I guess. I don't know when VHS tapes came out, but
60s, 70s.
yeah, okay. So like when he was like a teenager. And he has like one of the largest collections in the world of VHS and Betamax tapes. Mainly horror, sci-fi, action. Like
That's really cool.
yeah, and his face makeup actually, the demon face makeup is based off of the character from London After Midnight, the like main character who wears the top hat, the way his shadows would hit his face. It was reminiscent of the demon makeup when it first was a thing. So yeah, either London After Midnight or The Man Who Laughs. I can never remember which one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then so Paul Stanley, he was born in New York, and he was born in a Jewish family as well.
Mm-hmm.
And he was born with a birth. I don't know what the proper term is now because it's not the same as it used to be. I know it as birth defect, but I guess they refer to it as something else now.
I'm not sure what
I'm not sure either. But it's called a microtia. And so he was born without a right ear. So no ear canal. He was completely deaf, and he just had a lump of cartilage right there where the ear is supposed to be. So he's completely deaf. And he actually is one of the few of these classic rock motherfuckers whose books I've read who talks openly about mental health. He started going to therapy on his own accord.
Oh, wow.
He started, like, he literally, when he was 15 years old, walked to a therapist office and said, I want to schedule an appointment. And he started going to therapy, and he has been going to therapy ever since. His microtia didn't get... So, normally when people have a microtia, they get it fixed, like, at birth, but his family was poor, and they were like, no, we're not doing that. So he lived with it for a long time, and working on it back in the day as an adult was more difficult and invasive. I think it was like he went through 8 different surgeries, and one of his final ones in the 80s, Gene Simmons was the only person to show up for him when he got that surgery. So Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley, like that. Mm-hmm. Those are they're best buds. But those two started Kiss, really. They were in a band called Wicked Lester before Kiss. And they were not, like, into this... Like, the band got signed. Wicked Lester got signed. And they were, like, not super into it. They were like, this isn't it. Like, this isn't the sound we want. So they were trying to fire everyone in Wicked Lester and make it their own band and stick with the record deal. And then the rest of the band was like, fuck you guys. No, you're out. You're fired. And they said, fine, we'll start our own thing. They put an ad in the paper, in the... like Rolling Stone or some shit like that. Peter Criss answered it, and everybody knows the like word. Every Kiss fan knows the fucking words in the ad. I don't remember. It's like band looking for a drummer with flash and balls or something like that. Peter Criss called and they were like, yo, are you down to wear makeup? And Peter Criss was like, yeah. They're like, do you have long hair? Peter Criss was like, yeah. They were like, are you willing to do whatever it takes? And Peter Criss was like, yeah.
I love the retelling of it. Yeah.
So, they held open auditions. This was like in the 70s, or late 60s, early 70s. Or Kiss was formed in like 1971 or 2. So, they had open auditions for a guitarist, and they, you know, were interviewing this one guy that they really liked, and then fucking Ace Frehley walks in wearing one red Converse and one orange Converse, which was completely by accident. He doesn't know shit, so he just comes in, plugs his guitar into the amp, and starts fucking playing riffs. And everyone in the band was like, hey, can you, like, chill? We're talking to someone right here. Wait your fucking turn. And Ace was like, oh, yeah, okay. And then they, got done interviewing the guy and they went to talk to Ace and they were like, all right, play this. And they start playing Deuce. And Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons were like, oh, fuck, we found it. They describe it as kismet. They knew it was fucking it. So they didn't have a name and they were trying to come up with names. And they were in the car one day and it was complete silence. And Paul just turns around, looks at everyone and goes, what about Kiss? And they were like, that's it. And then Ace Frehley designed the original logo, and then Paul refined it. And what's so funny is the S's, they look a certain type of way. But when you really look at them, they aren't parallel. The second one is more crooked and fatter than the first S.
You're right.
So, it's very subtle, but it makes a fucking difference.
For sure.
But fun fact, in Germany, they aren't allowed to use that logo. They have a specific German logo.
That's nuts.
Because it's too reminiscent of SS's.
Yeah.
Which is also ironic because they're fucking Jewish.
Right.
And Gene Simmons' mom is a Holocaust survivor. And they're like, we're just guys being dudes with a cool fucking logo.
Right.
But that type of imagery is illegal in Germany.
That makes complete sense.
So when I went to see them in Germany, like the merch I got from them had the German Kiss logo on it, which was really fucking cool. And like on their website, there's a dedicated section to like German merchandise.
Oh, wow.
So that's like base level kind of basic history, base level fun facts, some fun facts. Ace Frehley and Peter Criss. I don't know shit about Peter Criss because I don't fucking like Peter Criss.
Fair.
But Ace Frehley, fun facts, and the rest of them are a bit fucking raunchy.
Yeah, let's dive in head first.
Okay. So, Gene Simmons is pretty, like, well known for being a whore. And... And one thing he's really known for is his Polaroid collection. So here's the thing. Gene Simmons has never drank. He doesn't fucking like to drink. He doesn't smoke. He doesn't do anything like that. He just likes sex. And he's very loud about it. And so he'll always say in interviews like, well, I don't drink, I don't smoke, and I had to take up some hobby, so I took up photography. And so every woman he slept with, he took a Polaroid picture of them. And it became infamous because he had over like 10,000 Polaroid pictures.
That's insane.
He keeps his Polaroid collection in a safety deposit box. Like, he's very serious about this collection. And back in the 80s, someone stole part of his collection, and he was very upset about it.
I don't blame him.
Yeah. He actually went on Oprah back in 1984, 86 with Paul Stanley and talked about it. And and it was actually an episode dedicated to groupie culture, and they had Pamela DeBar, who I have her book. She is probably one of the most famous groupies out there. But they were talking about groupie culture and all that kind of stuff, and he brought up the Polaroid collection and how it was stolen, and it's just really interesting to groupie culture. Like, I don't know if you've ever delved into groupie culture.
I have not.
Oh my god. It's as rich of a history as classic rock is. Like, without groupies, a lot of musicians wouldn't fucking be musicians. A lot of motherfuckers got into music for the groupies, the drugs, the booze, like all that kind of stuff. But I digress. So he has a Polaroid collection that's pretty renowned. Yeah, he doesn't drink or smoke. But I mean, I could get into that, but I don't know. That's like a lot. So you read his book and you find out why he is the way he is, because it all boils down to trauma. But back then, like, what happened to him wasn't viewed necessarily as like trauma or anything fucking, that weird. But you read it now and you're like, oh shit, I get it. I get why you are the way you are. But nobody's ever fucking looked you in the eyes and been like, this happened to you. That's why you are the way you are. Get some fucking therapy, dog, and work through this shit. But now he's a 75-year-old fucking, dad who's retired and just wants to do shit with his kids and go on a solo tour because he can. But Paul Stanley, he doesn't drink or smoke much. He was like very much a like, I'm not gonna let anything have control over me, but I will be a whore as well. And so he was a big old whore. And but he is a very serious songwriter. He actually wrote music for Bonnie Tyler, Celine Dion, Michael Bolton, like all those motherfuckers back in the 80s who were huge. Mm-hmm. He also was in Phantom of the Opera. He was in Phantom of the Opera in 1999 for 120 shows, and he's amazing. He was actually like really fucking good. And I actually have the Playbill poster in my room of him as Phantom. He was killer in it. Sebastian Bach, by the way, was on Broadway in Jekyll and Hyde, and he killed it, and it's fucking killer. He also was Jesus in Jesus Christ Superstar.
Oh my god. I wouldn't expect any, like, rock stars to be on Broadway.
Dude, you'd be surprised at how many rock stars are on Broadway. They get hired, especially, like, male, like, rock stars get hired a lot because they have the ability to sing those ranges. Mm-hmm. Like, just so many people. I mean, Donny Osmond, he started out as just, like, a pop singer. And now he's a Broadway, like, legend. Because they hired him because he can do all that stuff. Anyway, Ace Frehley. Ace Frehley is a crazy motherfucker. I love telling this story about Ace Frehley. So Ace Frehley used to be really good friends with John Belushi. You know who that is?
Yeah, from SNL.
Yeah. So he used to be, like, really close friends with John Belushi. And John Belushi was a huge cokehead. And him and Dan Aykroyd, they had a bar that was dedicated to people who worked on SNL could come and hang out. It was like a very private bar just for SNL people to come and drink. Mm-hmm. So they would hang out there, like, privately, and Ace became really good friends with John, so he would go hang out at that bar. And so him and John would have competitions, and what they would do is they would make a 2-foot line of cocaine, like 2 of them, and they would have competitions between the 2 of them of who could snort the 2-foot line of cocaine the fastest.
Oh my god.
Okay, so Ace Frehley also was friends with Dimebag Darrell, and Dimebag Darrell one time came over to where Ace was staying somewhere in, like, some hotel, you know. Mm-hmm. He came over and he had 2 chicks with him, and he looked at Ace and he was like, "Do whatever you want." They were prostitutes, and Dimebag bought them for the night. And Dimebag, like, didn't want anything to do with his prostitute. So Ace just had, like, this chick suck his dick in front of Dimebag Darrell, and Dimebag Darrell just watched.
What?
It's in his book. Yeah, dude. And then one time, Ace Frehley, back in the, I don't know, late 70s, early 80s, he was in a high-speed chase with the police. Guess what fucking car he was driving in this high-speed chase? And he got away in this fucking car.
What was it?
A fucking DeLorean. A goddamn DeLorean, which he then crashed into a tree. Like, this guy's fucking wild. Everyone talks about Ozzy and how fucking crazy Ozzy is. Ace Frehley is just as fucking crazy. Ace Frehley, if given the opportunity, yeah, Ace Frehley would have snorted up a line of ants off the ground. He would have licked piss. He probably fucking did. But Ace Frehley doesn't remember it. Like, I was reading his book, and my boss asked me how it was. And I looked at him, and I was like, man, it's a great book, but it is brutally apparent this was written by someone with brain damage. Like,
yeah.
And you watch any Ace Frehley video, like, this man is not right in the head. So he doesn't remember a lot of shit that he did, but everybody else does. And when you hear an Ace Frehley story, it's fucking insane. There is not one story I've heard about Ace Frehley that wasn't fucking insane. Even the story I have about Ace Frehley is fucking insane. When I met him, it's fucking insane, and it makes no sense. Why? We were in Kent, Ohio. Why was this such a weird night with Ace Frehley? What the fuck? Anyway, that's a story for a different time. I'll tell you that a different time.
Okay.
But what's really fun, one of my little hobbies that I like to do is how I can tie tattoo history in with classic rock history. And one of the things I found in my research was Ace Frehley and Paul Stanley one day in 1974, before they were really famous, because they got famous in 1975. Before they were famous, they were in California touring, and the hotel they were staying at was across the street from Lyle Tuttle's shop that he had. So they walked over and they got tattooed by motherfucking Lyle Tuttle. And Ace Frehley got literally his name, Ace, tattooed on his arm. And Paul got a rose on his arm. And it's really fucking cool that they got tattooed by Lyle Tuttle. And Lyle Tuttle is a pioneer of the industry, whether motherfuckers like it or not. He's a pioneer of the industry, but Sailor Jerry hated his guts and said he would be the death of the tattoo industry. And when Lyle Tuttle got a Rolling Stones cover, Sailor Jerry took that cover and wiped his fucking ass with it after he took a shit.
Oh my god.
Tattooers are so petty, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But, yeah, I mean, Kiss is really cool.
Yeah.
I was gonna tell you another thing about, Ace Frehley. I can't remember what it was. But those motherfuckers are wild. I mean, anybody who was in classic rock back in the day, I mean, they were all fucking wild. But also, they had nothing better to do than to be wild. They were on the road for months, and there weren't phones, there wasn't shit. There was just them, the free booze they got from motherfuckers, and the free drugs they got from motherfuckers, and the girls throwing themselves at them. What the fuck else were they supposed to do? I mean, shit. If I was in the fucking 80s, stuck on tour for months at a time, and that was all that I had in my possession, shit, yeah, I'd be getting fucked up doing wild shit every night.
Same. Yeah, same. Absolutely. What else?
What the fuck else are you supposed to do? Twiddle your thumbs, crochet, knit? I mean, I would have crocheted. That sounds like fun, but I mean, shit, if I had a beer in my hand while crocheting, hell yeah. But, like, of course there's crazy stories, and it's not like today. I mean, they all have this conversation, and I tread lightly with this conversation because I have my opinions, but, you know, back then there weren't as many people watching you that closely, or kind of seeing, like, what you're doing that's wrong, or caring what you're doing that is wrong. So people didn't have as many limitations, if you will, and did whatever the fuck they wanted, not caring about repercussions. And of course, there's problematic shit in classic rock history that also comes from groupie culture as well. I mean, there is so much problematic shit that went down. There's even problematic shit in Kiss's past, which I could talk about, but there's problematic shit with all of it. But classic rock history, I feel like, is more fascinating than anything else. Same with tattoo history. Tattoo history is just as good as classic rock history, but I digress. I've been talking a lot about Kiss and classic rock.
Who's your favorite controversial
music star?
Yeah.
From, like, back then? I hate myself for it. Okay? I fucking love the Smiths.
Oh, me too.
Dude, I love the Smiths. I tell you what, there is nothing like driving, like, on a cool day with your windows rolled down and fucking blasting the Smiths.
Yeah.
Oh my god. You ever smoked a fucking joint and listen to the Smiths on vinyl?
No.
Hell yeah.
But maybe I'll try it.
Dude, I'll let you borrow any of my Smiths records.
I have Smiths records.
See? The Smiths rule! And people who pretend that their music doesn't rule, come on now. That music is great. And it's kind of like having an aunt that's like not right in the head, but you're kind of like, she's our aunt, you know, we love her. That's like Morrissey to the music industry. Like, he's crazy as shit. He says weird fucking shit, but he's our Morrissey.
I would never listen to his solo stuff.
Oh no, his solo stuff? No. The Smiths is where it's at. Like, the Johnny Marr, dude, his solo shit is great.
I'll have to check it out.
I actually really love his solo shit. It's very, like, Britpop. I like it a lot.
I'd be so down for that.
I highly recommend it. But, yeah, Morrissey, I like to call him Steven. When I talk about him, like, with my coworker, we'll listen to the Smiths and be like, fucking Steven. Because his real name is Steven, and he hates being called Steven. So me and my coworker specifically refer to Morrissey as Steven.
As you should.
Right. But yeah, that's probably my most problematic, like, musician I'm a fan of, I think. Because other motherfuckers I stopped listening to. Like, I stopped listening to Marilyn Manson. I should have stopped listening to Marilyn Manson a long time ago.
I saw a Marilyn Manson tattoo on my Facebook feed today.
Are you serious? There's a we'll talk about that.
Okay.
But yeah, that's crazy to me. I mean, when it comes to repeated sexual assault and stuff like that, I mean, shit. Repeated sexual assault, even one-time sexual assault, man. Fucking blatant, inherent racism. Like, that type of shit, I don't fucking,
Fuck them.
Yeah. But some motherfuckers will try to cancel a motherfucker for being addicted to drugs.
And that's not right.
No. And, like, when you're on drugs, you do fuck shit. You can't cancel a motherfucker for being addicted to something and not knowing what the fuck they're doing. If you try to tell me, like, it's just, that blows my mind that that's a thing that happens.
For sure.
You're going to cancel someone who's very clearly struggling. Fuck you. You're the problem, and you're going to have anxiety for the rest of your life watching over your shoulder, wondering if someone's going to cancel you for some shit. Because you're holding other people to these standards that you're not holding yourself to.
That's ass.
Anyway. Let me get off my pedestal for a second.
Let me just jump off my high horse.
but still.
Oh, man. Alright, well, that just about does it.
This is when you tell me to shut the fuck up.
Alright, and I'm out, and I hope that you're not down. Peace.
That was cute. Peace.